Hello, Internet Nation. Alexander here. I just need to vent a little bit because I feel the spirit of frustration heavy on my chest. And I just want to get it out right quick because I had a whole topic on my mind that I wanted to vent about. And then I had to set the camera up, turn the fucking light on, put the chair down so I wasn't all the way up here. And now all I can think about is my plants. Give me a second. Okay, I was rolling a blunt. I literally just went to go fix my glasses, which is weird because it's this sensation of my shades are too far, but like if you've ever worn glasses and you have like thick frames and they like fall down, you know exactly what sensation I keep experiencing, which is weird because like at this point it's not because I used to wear glasses and I'm just used to going like this. It's more so I wear shades and they are not heavily prescriptioned. They're just, I don't know, I don't think those shades are meant to last because I wear the shades that I got after I got LASIK every day. But like those are falling apart, which I guess would make somewhat sense. They're probably not made to last months. But anyway, since I cannot remember what topic I wanted to vent about to get off my chest, I'm just going to do what I wanted to do originally, or what I wanted to do for a while now, and make a video about all the things I would like people to stop saying, you know? And this is just my own personal feelings, though I feel my phone is dying. I feel like we could all live happier, healthier, more mentally stimulating lives in which we believe in ourselves if we weren't if y'all weren't like this, because I don't do these things that I'm about to get into. There, now that my phone hopefully doesn't die on me, let's get into it. I'm going to be reading out of my cute little Chisaki notebook that I was super bummed that I couldn't get to use because I was using this for work at the ACC and they fired me. Look at all these fun notes that I wrote in there because you had to do constant notes and take so much information. So, these are just my personal opinions. Every time somebody does one of these things, it really pisses me off for reasons that I'll get into for each thing. But, you know, I just want to put this video out here. Hopefully, some people watch this video and they think about it and they go, you know what, Alex, you're right. I'm trying to remember back to the beginning of the video. I said, hello, Internet Nation, but did I say Alex here? Insomnia here. Hi, how you doing? This is the things I need people to stop saying. I was originally going to say like 5 things. There was another thing I wanted to write down. Hopefully I remember during the video, and I will keep my cute little Denji pencil next to me in case I remember other things. So the first thing is the time. Yes, the first thing I would like people to stop saying is the time. Rarely am I going to ask you for the time, and if I'm asking you for the time, it's because I have to go to work and I have to be like, I have to spit. I have to go to work, or I have to go to sleep and wake up at a certain time. But then, even then, granted, I'm probably not going to ask you the time. I'm probably just going to look for the time. What I'm talking about is like, pardon my chair, it has vertigo or some shit because it refuses to stay still. My legs are tucked up on the chair, so it's moving because I'm moving. But you know, I picked this chair up off the side of the street, so who am I to complain because it's fucked up, you know? Anyway, what I'm talking about, what I'm referring to, is when it's like the middle of the fucking night and then somebody just looks over at the time and they're like, oh, it's 12 o'clock. And the reason I hate this is because my brain is, it has its habits, you know? habits that I am not happy about, but as a potentially autistic Asperger's having motherfucker, it just does certain things. And if you sit there and be like, "Oh, it's 2:15," my stupid ass brain is then going to proceed to calculate how much time I have left before I have to wake up and how many hours I'm going to have and if that's even going to be enough hours for me to get adequate sleep. And I would just prefer to enjoy our time together. So frankly, I need people to shut the fuck up and stop blurting out the fucking time all the goddamn time. You can see the time without sharing with everybody in the room what time it is, you know? So let's just keep that to ourselves at the very least. Like, say it so low under your breath that it doesn't trigger my need to know what the fuck you just said. You know? That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. You don't have to tell me the time constantly because I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I didn't ask you what time it was. So stop saying it's so and so time every time you look at the time after a certain time. Because niggas never do that in like, they never do that when you're hanging out. Nobody has ever said, "Oh, it's 5 o'clock," or "Oh, it's 8 o'clock." They have never decided they randomly want to say the time when you're just hanging out and don't have to be awake in less than 6 hours, you know? So if we could just stop that. Also, as somebody who is severely detached from the concept of time, I just don't give a fuck in general. Like, I don't understand the compulsive need to say the time every time you notice the time, you know? The time is an illusion anyway. Time, like, literally, time skis me the fuck out because I have a terrible concept of time. I will be sitting there, walking a dog or something, listening to a fucking video, and it's like, "Oh, so we just covered 3 blocks. I thought that would take 5 minutes. That took a minute and a half." You know? So time already freaks me the fuck out because it moves painfully slow for me. I don't need the constant reminder that time is a thing. The next thing is I'm old. Specifically, I will generally, after saying, my notes say after saying years, but I meant something specific by that. But like, you know, somebody be like, "Oh, I'm 30," or "I'm 24," or fucking Skyrim came out 12 years ago? Yeah, roughly 12. Well, give or take a few months, but roughly 12 years ago. You know, or would it be 11? No, it'd be 11. Roughly 11 years, going on 12 this year. I believe that is how time works. You know, but just be like, "Oh, that came out 12 years ago." I'm old. As a 30-year-old, I do not consider myself old. Mentally, physically, I stopped aging at 19. I would like to keep it that way, and I would not like to, like, because when you my Instagram is just being blown up, coming right at my ADHD, so my phone is going on do not disturb mode while we do this because I would like to get through this without constantly being stopped and having my brain go other places. But as somebody who grew up and is past a certain age, I personally do not think that 30 is old. I don't think anything like, maybe when you're in your 40s, you're getting up there. You know, like when you're 50% way through life or something. If y'all, for y'all who live to just be 100 or just live to your 80s, whatever. I plan on living till I'm at least 333. So, like, 30 is not old. It's not. It's not. And even, like, if you want to talk about in the spectrum of, like, female menopause, sure, you can kind of get away with 30 being old and, like, 40 being old because that's when the menopause kicks in. That's when your body is saying we can't make babies anymore. But then also, maybe you should, like, think about your misogynistic mindset because, like, that also implies that, like, you can't have perfectly healthy babies up until that age. Like, yeah, sure, it might get more difficult to do so if you're not living a healthy lifestyle, but, like, is that really on everybody and their age though, or is that just on you and your body? Anyway, I just hate that shit. Can we stop? Because what you're doing every time you say that is you are like subconsciously programming people to also share your mindset that like 24, 21, 30, 39 is old. Like, can we let the old people have that? Because like, I don't know if you realize this, but it's kind of fucked up to like determine that old people are decrepit, because old people can't just be old. If I'm old as a 30-year-old, what does that make a 7-year? What does that make my parents? You know? Both my parents are in their 60s. What does that make them? What does that make my older sister? Last time I checked, we're still fucking alive, kicking, trying to live our best lives out here. We ain't give up. So can we stop trying to subconsciously program motherfuckers into thinking they're old as soon as they finish like going through the process of puberty? Because again, can you check your misogynistic mindset? Because I know that the correlation between I'm old and you're old, calling yourself old, is I am no longer a prepubescent girl, therefore I can't be young. No, shut the fuck up. I just paused, so I'm contemplating if I should go on to the next thing. But maybe I need to like drill it in everybody's head. Stop saying you're old. Yes. In the grand scale of the human life, when you're constantly living in the future and in the past, 10 years is a long time. Yes. 10 years is a long time. Like, I might be old enough to say, oh, you know that one time I got pregnant and I had a fucking miscarriage? Technically, if that child was alive, they would be 15. Okay? Old enough to have a child does not mean that I'm fucking old. Okay? I'm alive. I'm kicking. I'm still trying to, like, do the best with what I got, you know? I'm still out here living life. Let us reserve calling yourself old for the old people, you know? Like, we don't have to continue the perpetual thought that the children have that 20 is old. We get it. Y'all think children are stupid. I should put that on the fucking list too, because people love saying that shit. Number 5 is officially children are dumb. But we're gonna get to that when we get to that. But like, let's revamp the way that we talk, because like, y'all are already out here acting like you're old. Y'all are already out here living like you're old from the age of 12. When do we get to be young? When do we get to just live life and enjoy and not have to sit here thinking, oh, I'm old, I can't do this, I can't, oh my god. Like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You're not that old. You're not that old. You are literally just started living. Half of us are children mentally. And that's all that fucking matters, because like, y'all niggas are so goddamn traumatized that you didn't even go through teenhood because you stopped at childhood. Give yourself some leeway to live your fucking life without sitting there and contemplating how fucking old you are. For one, your cells die every day. Like, they literally replace themselves to the point where at some point you become a completely different person. And if you want to establish yourself as that person and think that you're old, I mean, granted, I guess I should give that to you because it's your life, and if you want to sit there and do that, that's fine. But reserve that for yourself. Again, just like with the time, keep that to yourself. Stop sitting here telling everyone that you think you're old and that we too should think that we're old. Because age is just a mindset. I almost said just a number, but let me not fuck around like that. Age is just a mindset, you know? Literally, half of people... Let me touch on this here too. Maturity, irrelevant in the grand scheme of age. Irrelevant. Niggas is raising kids with trauma. You traumatize your kid, they stop growing up. That was the whole problem I had with my ex. He was so traumatized that he was mentally a child. That's how half of society is, just not to that extreme, but that's how half of society is. You can't say that you're old and then just act all the act childish, because y'all niggas is acting childish out here. Talking about, oh, I'm old. And maturity comes with age. Maturity does not come with age. It really don't. It really does not. So many people are too traumatized to even understand. Not spatial awareness. What is it called? What is it called? Cognitive dissonance? No, I don't think that's what it is. But you know that thing? No, I think it is cognitive dissonance. That thing that children develop when they like get mature enough to realize that the world exists outside of me. You know? Anyway, on to the next thing. The third thing. X is stupid. Stop saying that X is stupid. Everything is fucking stupid. Nothing fucking matters. Hello, I don't know who needs to hear this, but everything is made up. Society is made up. Laws made up. Rules made up. Normalities made up. Everything. You see this shelf? A bunch of made up, fictional, imaginary characters. TV shows made up. Laws made up. School system made up. Somebody somewhere established all of this shit. It is all stupid. Especially the American government. Stupid. One might even call it retarded. I would specifically call the American system retarded, because you cannot tell me that there is cognitive function in the American system. There is something wrong with the way it operates. Even though that always feels like an insult to retarded people, because most of them can function normally. Even if it comes down to finding a system that works for them, and like people that understand what they are dealing with, they can function more normal than most of these neurotypical individuals, you know? So let's just stop being judgmental little assholes that think that our way is the only way, because nothing fucking matters. Nothing. I don't give a shit if you don't agree with a thing. Like, you can call the thing stupid. Some things are generally just stupid. Like, thinking that pedophilia is going to disappear before childhood abuse does, you know? And thinking that pedophiles can just, like, deal with that shit without getting any type of help that is actually going to get to the root cause of what made them that way to begin with. But everything is stupid. Everything is literally stupid. And you can call non-stupid things stupid only if you can accept that the shit you do is also stupid. The shit that you're into is stupid. It doesn't make any fucking sense to some people. It makes sense to you. And that's all that fucking matters. You enjoy it. That's all that fucking matters. Stop yucking somebody else's yum when it has nothing to do with you. Like, if somebody's yum is, like, actively having sex with children, you can yuck the fuck out of that yum. If somebody's yum is, like, raping people, yuck the fuck out of that yum. But, like, if somebody likes dolls, if somebody likes to jump rope, if somebody likes doing gymnastics, if somebody likes to dance, if somebody likes making stupid jokes, shit that hurts nobody, shut the fuck up. Get a fucking life, you know? Because everything is stupid. It's as stupid as it's not stupid. And that's just the way it fucking is. That's just the way everything fucking is. Human society is unnatural to the nth degree. We literally put ourselves in a little zoo and then, like, think everything outside of human society is dirty and nasty, when human society is the most unnatural thing that there is in the entirety of the world, because we decided to remove ourselves so far from nature that we think we're better, that y'all think you're better than animals who are another part of nature. And yet for some reason people think that there's better than animals, which that mindset is stupid. Because then it leads to humans thinking that they're better than other humans because they already don't value life. So let's just stop being judgmental little assholes, you know? Everything is stupid. Everything doesn't fucking matter, but that doesn't matter. Because at this point, all this bullshit is our normal. So just let people enjoy the shit they enjoy if it's not hurting anyone. Thing number 4. X is for kids. The only thing that are for kids is Trix and Cocomelon. Like, there are legitimately some things that are just for kids. And I mean, like, the shit that is just so elementary that it cannot be enjoyed by adults. Like Cocomelon. Like Nick Jr. You know, but there's just certain things that cross the line of going from being for kids to being for everyone. Like animation. Animation is not for kids just because it's silly cartoons and stupid ass adults think that cartoons are only for kids. I want to say it's a stupid mindset, but I don't want to come so hypocritically so hard, you know, because I just said that stop calling things stupid, even though I do generally think that it's stupid. It just falls back on what I said before. Yucking somebody's yum. It's not childish to watch cartoons. For one, some cartoons be hitting with the morals. They just be like Steven Universe. I was watching that shit. It's one of those shows where it's like I can't wait to show this to my kids because like the lessons are just so good. The way that show was helping me process my trauma and be a better, healthier person just hit so hard. And it's an animated show that comes on Cartoon Network. Things like that are for everyone. Fucking video games with an E rating are for everyone. Pokemon is for everyone. Zelda, everyone. These fucking franchises. For everyone. There are things that are specifically for kids that are like. I can't think of any kid shows like Teletubbies. That's a kid show. You know? That's a young kid show. That's one of those things that you could argue is for people with like less cognitive reasoning that don't understand as much. But then even then, if you have somebody who's like mentally retarded and struggles with certain things, they too might be able to find an enjoyment of that because it's like simplified for them. It might help them learn to communicate. Well, is Teletubbies really going to help people learn to communicate? But you know what I'm saying, you know? There are just certain things that are blatantly for kids, but things that are for everyone, everyone can find enjoyment out of, are not for kids. Colors are not for kids, you know? It's like you can dress cutesy and shit. I don't know who needs to hear this, but like that mindset is very limiting to human existence in general. Like how are you making people who grew up in restrictive, forceful households feel when it's like, oh, you finally moved out of your parents' house, you're finally making your own money, you finally have freedom to do what you want, buy what you want, be who you want. Oh, but you're over the age of 18, so you can't wear colors or dress goth and dress emo. You can't do any of that because you're an adult now and you have to act like an adult. No! Last time I checked, I did not pop out of your vagina. You did not squirt me out of your balls. So who do you think you are telling me how to live my life? Granted, the person who popped me out of her vagina and the person who squirted me out of their balls, I don't really listen to them either when it comes to how to live my life. But if I didn't have such a traumatic childhood, maybe I would, you know? It's like maybe if they... I'm not getting into my parents right now. This isn't about them. But it's limiting to be like, oh, now that you have your freedoms, you're not allowed to take it because you have to be a boring person just like everybody else. You know? It's like I didn't go through that trauma and get out just for somebody to tell me that I can't collect toys because toys are for kids. No. And I feel like if society would just accept that, because companies like Monster High, they understand because they come out with collector dolls aimed at the adults. I think Barbie kind of gets it too, because I heard that the Barbie movie was not for kids and it's mostly aimed at like people like me that grew up with Barbie, which like that's fun. And I mean, if they're making sex jokes in the Barbie movie and it's about the patriarchy, you can't really say that's a kids movie, which is like, way to have my back, Barbie. You were always that bitch, because like that's a perfect example of just because you think it's for kids doesn't mean that it can't grow up with us, because like if Barbie, honestly any doll company at this point that is aiming for, it's like the fact that just because the people that you started with, that you were marketing towards, when marketing towards kids was a viable outcome, grew up, does not mean that we don't like dolls anymore. Like, my money is 70% rent. Everything outside of that is toys and drugs. I refuse to change. Making dolls is my passion in life, you know? So I'm still gonna be looking up after like cute dolls, cute Barbies, and cute Monster High dolls. And it's like important that the companies recognize that, because children don't have money. Children don't have money. I don't give a fuck what you say. At the end of the day, children don't have money. So why are you advertising to only the children when it's their parents, their friends? Are children allowed to have fucking older friends? Their siblings, family friends, their aunties and uncles. We're the ones buying things for them, you know? So why only act like children are the only ones allowed to buy your products when children can't even buy your products, you know? Why alienate your market? You know? You see what I'm saying? But then again, I feel like the people watching me understand that, like, things for kids are for kids. But just because something seems childish to society does not mean that it is childish. It's childish to think that, like, I can't do what I want with my life, you know? It's childish to be like, oh, just because you're this age means that you have to let go of these things. It means I have to pay my rent or take care of whatever fiscal responsibilities that I take on as an adult. If I have kids, I have to take care of them. If I choose to take on any form of responsibility outside of myself, such as a child or a pet, I have to take care of them. That's what that means. That means I gotta file my fucking taxes and be a functioning member of society. I can wear what the fuck I want, do what the fuck I want, spend money on what the fuck I want, be into whatever interest I fucking want, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody. Non-consensually. And what does that matter? You know? What does it fucking matter? Just let people enjoy things without dictating what is for kids. And if you want to even broaden the horizon, without dictating what is for kids, what is for women, what is for men. You know? Things don't need to be classified in a box. I can understand back in the day when, like, we were coming up with classifications for things, but now we're just taking things too far by dictating, oh, this thing is for this people, so these people can't enjoy it because it's for these people. No. Dress started for men. Heels started for men. Don't give me that shit. Just because it's no longer for men doesn't mean it didn't start there. And if it started there, gives it even more reason to go back there. Okay, I don't give a fuck where the public mindset, where the hive mind blows to during the week. I don't. Nothing has labels. None of this shit fucking matters. Okay? Everything is for whoever the fuck enjoys it. If you like dressing this way, dress that way. If you like watching this thing, watch that thing, unless it's child porn. If you like playing this game, play it, because all fucking video games are games and you're fucking stupid and do not deserve video games. You deserve no video games. Honestly, like, I hope if you're the type of person to be like, oh, The Sims isn't a video game, girl games aren't video games, oh my god, Animal Crossing, not a video game. I hope somebody comes in while you're playing, pours water into your system so you could watch it, and then picks it up, slams it down on the fucking floor, and then proceeds to beat the shit out of it with a boot. Preferably Desomia boots. Demonia boots. I just got that mixed up with the house from fucking Twisted Wonderland. Because fuck you. You don't deserve games, okay? Literally a whole team of people spent God knows how long being underpaid and overworked to make a game that would be a wonderful experience for whoever the fuck chooses to play it. And if you're gonna sit there and insult those people talking about this isn't a game, you don't deserve video games. Especially since y'all be the same niggas, the same asshats, playing the most boring, repetitive, cash grabby games, talking about this game isn't a game, that game isn't a game. It's a game. If you run it on a system, it's a game. If it plays, it's a game. I don't want to hear shit. The first video game we ever had was fucking Pong, my nigga. Pong. If Pong can be classified as a video game, and Lord knows it fucking is, I don't want to hear shit about Mario Kart isn't a game. If it plays, it's a game. Don't make me find you personally and come smash your system. Or smash your fucking skull with your fucking system. Because it's a fucking game. Somebody spent a lot of time. Or you know what? I don't like this is why I don't have a cult yet. Because I would rile people up to be like, if this motherfucker says that anything is not a video game. Like, if you want to sit there and say Spades isn't a video game, and I mean the card version of Spades, sure, go for it. But, like, if it's a virtual game and it plays on a system, it's a game. It's a game. But let me not rile niggas up to just start destroying systems, breaking into people's houses. This is why I don't have a cult yet, because I have not found the inner Jesus and the inner peace in me. Anyway, the last thing I have on this list is, I wrote that so bad. It says children are dumb, but no, it doesn't. I know what it says. That's all that matters. But, like, can we stop saying that children are dumb? Children are actually smarter than most adults. They don't know a lot of things. Because y'all aren't teaching them things. Duh. That's literally the only reason they don't know a lot of things. But children are inquisitive. You know? They ask a lot of questions. It's your fault that you don't want to answer those questions so that they can know shit. It's as simple as that. Children learn by seeing. They learn by doing. They learn by asking questions. Children are not dumb. They just don't know. Like, how would you feel if you didn't know something and somebody called you dumb? It's literally that. Like, can we stop? Children are spiritually intelligent. They have the capacity of being emotionally intelligent too. The only problem with that is a lot of people don't want to take the time of raising their fucking children. So then you end up with emotionally stunted children, aka adults, aka most males, because y'all don't want to take the time to, like, validate that child's emotions or teach them how to process emotions and how to just, like, understand what they're feeling and how they're feeling. You know, which is why I'm kind of glad that gentle parenting is becoming a more prominent thing. Or should I say parenting, because what y'all call parenting is abuse. And abuse is not. Like, so many people want to fight me because they want to abuse their children. You don't need to beat your child, especially if your stupid ass isn't going to explain to them why what they're doing is wrong. How are they going to be intelligent, let alone emotionally intelligent, if you just grow up beating them every time they did something that you thought was wrong? You know, or every time you got mad. That shows how childish your ass is. And we should have took your reproductive organs before we allowed you to reproduce, if this is how you're going to treat your children. Some people shouldn't have children, which is why I think fucking abortions are so goddamn important. Like, you know, I would never have an abortion. Not because I think it's wrong, just because mentally I could not survive that. Like, creation is so important to me. I could not imagine destroying a creation of mine, but at the same time, I also understand, like, sometimes you're just not ready for a child. I would like literally go out and have to vet people to have an open adoption, because it's like, you're not gonna have my child and I'm not gonna be involved, you know? Because even if I can't raise a child and I'm not gonna do that single parenting, that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna be involved in any type of way. But I digress. That's just where I stand. I mentally could not handle having an abortion, but that's me, my choice, and what I'm going to do with my body. You know, I have no say in what other people want to do with their bodies, because at the end of the day, one could even argue that my method of going about it is incorrect, because there are already too many children in the world. There are too many children in foster care for us to be making more children to abandon. You know? You know? But we're in this endless cycle of just perpetuating abuse, and it's leading us to have adults who are not the smartest, not the most put together, not the most mature people. So it's like, you can't really sit there and have the argument that children are stupid when they don't have any adults willing to teach them. Like, can we just take a moment to like sit back and remember that the education system was created because we needed a way to like prepare future workers? It has nothing to do with learning. Like, I'm not joking when I say I want to have my children homeschooled, because like, it's bad enough that I can send my children to school, and because they're blatantly themselves, they get picked on for not being traumatized and feeling like they need to conform to the stupid social norms that society has put in place. You know? And then on top of that, you want to have teachers who bully the children. I simply would not know how to act if my child came home and somebody hurt them, somebody cut their hair. I don't believe in beating my children, but I do believe in corporal punishment, you know? But I also feel like I wouldn't have to have a conversation with my child on why it's bad to violate somebody's boundaries by altering their physical form without their consent, let alone, you know, that applies in any general sense. Just like, oh, you cut them, you drew on them, you pushed them, you punched them, you threw a swing at them, you threw a ball at them. You're gonna have to talk to your child. Or I shouldn't beat up children. But you're an adult, so I'm gonna have to homeschool my. Y'all are gonna have to change. I'm gonna have to get on my little commune. Am I using the word right? My little community cult. And then we can like school our children together, because they don't need to go to school to be brainwashed into thinking the Americans did nothing wrong. You know? And like, you don't really need to like teach your children arithmetics, calculus, unless that is something that they want to venture into more. Because be honest, unless that's something involving with your job, how often are you multiplying anything really outside of like, I want to buy this thing and it costs this much? If I buy this many of it, how much will that cost? Outside of that, when are you really using advanced math in your daily life? And even that right there could be handled by a fucking episode of Schoolhouse Rock. And best believe my children are gonna have that on loop from in the womb. I don't know what to tell you, because learning starts early. Them niggas. You can teach a baby sign language. I don't want to hear nothing about children are stupid. You can teach a baby sign language. You can teach a baby to tell you when it needs the tit. Some of y'all can't even be bothered to learn the bare minimum so that if you ever come across a person who is deaf, you can say something. Like, at the very least, like, I would like to stress my brain does not like, it has a thing against language, and I think it's just the stress that I'm constantly under, and like the constant having to remember XYZ for my job, and then having to go through that all day, and then trying to remember this person went to hang out, this person said this. All these things I have to remember on the daily. At the very least, I practice my ABCs. I always go through that. This is D. But I always go like that first. That's F. If you are watching this and you know ASL and you're like, bitch, what the fuck are you talking about? You're wrong. I mean, keep in mind it's ASL, American Sign Language, but feel free to tell me I'm wrong. Feel free to educate me, you know? Like, I was watching this video the other day, and like this guy was like, actually no, I was watching somebody react to Dahmer. And it got up to the episode where the dude was like, oh, I'm deaf. Is that a problem? No, honey. It's not a problem as long as you promise to teach me. Because I want to fucking learn. It's like, I don't get to practice any type of language other than English with anybody, and then even then, I barely get to speak. It says my lisp. But it is not a deal breaker. But anyway, as I was saying, you can teach babies American Sign Language. You can teach babies to communicate what their needs are with you. Like, you can get the ball rolling probably literally before they exit the womb, because if Mozart actually does make babies smarter, I don't know. I thought it was my job to like create a perfect human, just a beautiful functioning member of society, and you think I'm gonna not do that even if it means not sending my school to a cesspool where even the teachers can make fun of them? Like, I'm gonna have to transfer my child because I'm gonna go beat the shit out of that teacher. Like, I don't know. I plan on raising children that are gonna rat on themselves. That's how comfortable they are telling me everything. That's my goal. So, like, if you're causing trauma in my child when I'm trying so hard to end that generational trauma with me, and trust me, my family has a lot of generational trauma on both sides. So if you're gonna counteract all the work I'm doing, if you, like, trust me, you don't want to validate the fear that I have, because one of my biggest fears in this world is creating my magnum opus, or my magnum opus, because every child that I bring into the world, even the ones that I adopted through fostering, those are my children too. They were brought into the world for me. All my magnum opus that I work so hard on, trying to quail my craziness and my insanity just so they can have a fucking semblance of a chance at a normal fucking life and just a happy adulthood where they're not constantly dragged back into the gutters because of childhood trauma the way I fucking am. And you come for my greatest work of art? I'm gonna have to turn you into a lamp, my nigga. I'm gonna have to do it. You're forcing my hand in this. Like, literally, I'm contemplating if my mom is even ready to be anywhere near my children, because I can't be having her fucking them up the way she did me. And if I'm gonna keep my mama away from my babies, who are you? But anyway, children are intelligent. Like, if you give them a chance, if you let them just live their life, they're pretty smart. If you need a good example of this, go fucking listen to MatPat talk about his son Oliver. That nigga is lecturing his dad on types of dinosaurs. Dinosaurs I'd never even fucking heard about, because that's what you get when you talk to your child like an adult. When you let them be themselves, when you teach them things. They're just sponges. They just suck everything up. So if your child is stupid, that's a reflection of you. That has nothing to do with children in general. If they're assholes, that's on you. If they're little pieces of shit, that's on you. If they're little angels, that's on you. So, you know, I don't know. I think it's dumb. You're stupid, nigga. Stop calling these children stupid. These children are intelligent. They are trying their best. with the cards they've been dealt. So cut them some slack, because they don't know. They don't know. They don't know what they don't know. Leave them alone. Teach them some things. Be like, oh, hello, little child. You were saying some dumb shit right now. I'm not going to argue that kids can't be dumb sometimes, because they just be running around crazy, living their best life, doing things. They don't know what's going to hurt and what's not going to hurt. But that's just part of being a child. You know? You run into the wall, and then you learn that running into the wall hurts. Or, you run into the fucking glass door, and then you learn that there's a door there, even if it doesn't look like there is one. You know? That's just part of life. Teach them something. So if you see a little kid and you're like, oh, you're not the most intelligent right now, you don't really know a lot, here's a nugget of wisdom. Here you go, child. Have this fun fact. Are you familiar with platypus? Did you know that they're mammals but they lay eggs? Here you go. Now you're smart. Let me stop being dumb. But those are just some things that I would like people to stop saying. And I feel like if we collectively stop saying these things, we would live generally happier, more informed lives where we don't feel like decrepit old people and then perpetuate the stereotype that we're decrepit old people and that you're getting old at 20, because you're not. You're not old. You can die at any moment. Literally any moment. You could die before you're born. Literally. Death doesn't care about age. So stop making yourself seem closer to death. Just like, can we just stick with, oh, I'm young? Because that's what I am. And if listening to me say that I'm young makes you feel young, you get it. You get it. But anyway, until next time, Internet Nation, know that you are loved by this guy. And. No, Aki's on a thing. Yeah, this girl. You know this girl, right? It's Iron Mouse. Everybody knows Iron Mouse. Not everybody knows Iron Mouse. Like, I just thought the Nender was cute. I know very little about Iron Mouse outside of her appearances on Lux Taku's channel. I know that she's a pervert, though, and I love me a cute pervert. Anyway, until next time, goodbye, Internet Nation.